Hi, welcome to Manic in Miami. This is Holly, and this is my podcast. Bienvenue à tous à Manic à Miami. Mon nom est Holly. Et ceci est mon podcast. Le magasin Psyché de Holly est une boutique à Bordeaux. Je suis passée une fois, peut-être que vous connaissez les noms, c'est comme les miens. My French ex-boyfriend made me redo that, so the sound is off. Wanted to add subtitles in English and French. This is my first podcast episode with visuals, so we have some photos, and I have created a brief, informative fact sheet, and I've added it at the end of this. So please check it out. I'm very glad to hear that people are more interested in the nuances of bipolar disorder because I try to entertain, but at the end of the day, this is about reducing stigma and informing other listeners. I also have the most recent episode, which was a spur of the moment recording. It's only 8 minutes long, so it's all in the video. It's a good story. I have a guest with me, Lorraine. She is from the Champagne region of France in a city I keep mispronouncing, so I will leave that one to her. There are a couple of funny moments, including a coincidence, and I put those in a couple times. They're very short. I hope you enjoy this. I worked really hard on it. I have links to my website, Spotify, Apple. Just look up Manic in Miami. Thanks very much.
You get a bit drunk, like without even drinking alcohol, as we are, like a bit.
Yes. No. Yeah, we're a little.
And fuck it.
Oh my God, he just texted me now. I'm not reading it because it's going to be bad. Let me just explain how we got in touch. So you found my Instagram post. I posted a photo after I came out of the hospital because I just felt very strongly that people shouldn't hide in shame and they should put this out there. So that's why I did. And then that's how we started communicating. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think the good parts we have to take from social medias.
I posted a photo in the emergency room because I was trying to make people jealous and think that I have a perfect.
My name is Lorraine. I come from Reims. It's in Champagne. I used to study political sciences in Strasbourg, east of France, and now I'm working to help people mainly from mental illnesses in an association.
Sometimes when you're in a manic state, the things that you believe are real are not always real. And I think that can happen with romantic situations.
It's always also like a trauma. So
yes,
it's normal to still feel it and to think about it. I have these issues as well. I don't know if you know, it's not mania, it's erotomania. Erotomania. I mean, in French we say erotomanie.
Interesting. What can you explain what that is?
I'm not a psychologist, but it's like we tend to idealize the story we have with the partner and everything, or I mean everything we can idealize, and that's gonna be great. It's a mania, you know. And we begin to see signs everywhere, like him everywhere.
Oh my God, he just texted me now. I'm not reading it because it's going to be bad. So I'm not reading that because he really doesn't want to hear from me, but that is. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I mean. Oh, wow. This is amazing. During the beginning of psychosis, I was paranoid. I thought he was a cult leader. That is so funny. He just texted me. You just genuinely think that there is this connection here. It's not that you're, driving by his house. It's nothing like that.
I am like that.
You are. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Have you looked? Tried to peer into the windows.
Yeah, I'm really bad with men in general.
So am I.
And yeah, I got manic, not because of a man, like it wasn't because of him, it was my way of thinking about the relation with him.
Yeah.
Which was really, I mean, it wasn't real, as we said. It was really a manic state of mind.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about him all the time. And he blocked me, you know. So
he blocked me too.
No, I mean, we couldn't speak, but I felt like he was here somewhere, and we were in contact. I took the first train for London.
Yeah.
To see him.
Oh, he was in London.
Yeah, he was in. Yeah, I just came back from England, and I've met him in 2016, and then we had a relationship together. Not big things, you know, but I was really, he was stuck in my mind. I was thinking about him. He told me he didn't want any distance relationship.
Yeah.
So, I was in complete denial, you know?
Yes, I know.
And then the next year I got manic, and I had this episode where I went to London to see him. I really thought that he was waiting for me, you know. He didn't talk with me anymore. He wasn't speaking with me. I mean, I saw him and he was like, what the fuck? What is she doing? I was at his work.
Oh my God.
And I was happy to see him, but
that's kind of awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I'm too romantic because I arrived at his work, and yeah, I did crazy thing. It's too crazy to
No, I mean, so what was his response?
He told me, where are you going? What are you doing now? He was really freaked out for me, you know. He helped me like to get another train and to get back, you know, because
wow.
But I wasn't me, you know. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
It was.
I know.
I was like in another state of mind, a manic state of mind, and we need to understand. I mean, you've been questioning the difference, you know, between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. Bipolar 1 is really manic depression, and a manic state is when sometimes you get out of yourself and you're not yourself at all, and you can do things that are crazy, and sometimes that's why sometimes we are thought to be like people who are meant to be in jail or something.
Yes.
I don't know how to say, but
institutionalized. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that is great about French culture, really. And that's normal to have a conversation that is an exchange of ideas.
I like the Chinese philosophy, you know. I mean, they have a way to see health issues, which are not the same as the Occident, the Western way.
Yeah.
So I found a book which is 100 euros. So I'm not buying it now, but maybe one day I'll buy it, because I think there's another view, you know, on psychosis. Yeah, it's really another view, like which I think it's Chinese medicine view, and it's really interesting. I've been trained many. Yeah, I've sent you the link, but I don't remember the name.
You don't remember the name? Okay, send me the link. Yeah. I will buy it for you.
I think there's something interesting. You know, for example, people who've been harassed at school during childhood, they still remember the things that people were saying to them.
Oh, yes.
And it's echoing in their mind. And even during the adulthood, they still have these thoughts, and
still have it. Yeah.
And you become paranoid because of these thoughts, because you think it's true. It's always there, but, and you attribute this thought to other people. Like you think other people think this about you because you've been harassed when you were young. And
oh my God,
I mean,
yes.
it's crazy. It stays. And,
stays.
Yeah, that's why I really, I'm always idealizing, things, but, it's important, like, to protect children from harassment at school, because it stays. But when you have bipolar traits or genetics, it
starts exactly. I was horrifically bullied in high school, and it wasn't my fault. It was a sexist thing. This guy who was like the cutest guy in school, he was older than me, called me and he asked me to go out with him, but he still had his girlfriend. I was a weirdo, artsy younger girl, and she was like this is so American. She was the captain of the cheerleading squad. Okay. And so I went out with him and I was so happy. Like, I can't believe this is like a dream come true. And then she and her friends showed up and, you know, they were screaming and somebody hit me and hysterically crying. I didn't do anything. I was naive. And then when I got a car, they wrote slut and whore all over my car.
Oh my God.
And my dad found it. And they did this repeatedly. Like, they made signs at the school just saying horrible things about me. Of course, that affected me for the rest of my life. I was already like a bipolar creative weirdo. I went through like my young adulthood just thinking, well, I guess I am a slut and a whore, and that, you know, nobody should love me. Carry that, all of that with you. And I let myself be treated poorly. I let myself be treated very poorly by men and other people. And I have to say, I had a blog that a lot of people read, and I had anonymous people also bullying me, and they would call me like Depakote, and they would make fun of me for being bipolar and, you know, taking medication because they found out about it. And that's just disgusting.
I think it happens a lot as well.
It does
today. Yeah, in social medias, and
it's so sad.
Friends who are like, they have I don't know, 5,000 followers, and a few people are just harassing her.
Yeah.
I mean, why? What are they looking for? You read this text and you don't know what to do with it, because it's sometimes really hurtful.
And they just want to hurt you. And this world is so terrible. It makes people mean.
It's a bit hard to understand from other people who are not enduring this, because they don't know that we are going through huge things, like huge feelings, euphoria. We feel everything very strongly, and we feel sometimes like that we are queen of the world, you know.
Yeah.
And that we can do anything. And then we come back to that state where we are shit, and more than shit. And I mean, a common sense we have now in this era. I mean, we have to stay positive, and everything has to be good. And,
everything.
And we feel good, and everything's all right. And, you know, we can't feel bad.
We can't feel bad.
So people can't, like, they can't handle when we are bad, when we feel bad. They can't handle anymore, because they think that everything should be good and great and stuff like that.
Boundaries. Yeah. If you're ever negative, I'm sorry, but you are negative.
Yeah. Where is the humanity in this?
Where is the humanity?
Yeah, because that's why we are taking pets. We are buying pets, because sometimes the human can handle anything we can tell them. So
honestly,
how is it with your pet?
Well,
I think the cat now.
Yeah, the cat is over there sleeping. It's so funny. I describe her as, she talks a lot, She needs a lot of attention. I think that's how people would describe me.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if I raised her that way. Now she's exactly like me.
And the manic state is not really well known. People
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
They don't. Yeah.
And sometimes when I say I'm bipolar, there's things that sometimes I went to hospital because because I tried to kill myself, but it wasn't that. And sometimes you can kill yourself because you're manic.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to, I mean, it would be great that they understand that sometimes you can be so euphoric and happy and stuff like that, and you don't want to die, but you can die because, I mean, so many people went through that, and we need to bring awareness.
And we don't just go to the hospital because we slit our wrists, or took a bunch of pills. We go to the hospital because we're not in reality, and that's dangerous. It's not dangerous in the sense that we're going to murder someone, and that's another.
But sometimes the people are not. I mean,
they don't understand that.
That sometimes they mix everything, and
Were you out on the street walking around with a knife, like from a horror movie? When we have psychotic features, it's not dangerous to anyone. It's just dangerous to ourselves.
You lose yourself so much that you don't know, you don't even know what you are doing. And I think it depends also on your own experience with life in childhood or with people, and how you're dependent with people or not, can bear or not the the loneliness and being just with yourself. And there's a part of like, to understand the codependency we have with people, and just to accept that sometimes they are not here at the moment we need them.
Yes.
Sometimes it's like that. We need to, to heal the child inside of us. Sometimes we are just...
Childhood trauma or the attachment we have with a parent does influence the mood disorder. Even if the mood disorder is something we're kind of born with. You felt abandoned as a little kid. You felt neglected. In that way, exactly, your childhood experiences impact the way you react to your bipolar 1 symptoms,
Yeah, true. It's about like the security we have. I like the word reparenting. Like, we need to be our own parents for ourselves. Even our parents won't be there like eternally. And
my life circumstances also affect me, and people don't understand that. They think you can take a magic pill and everything is okay. And it's not that simple.
True. Yeah.
And I wish...
Are you still like thinking about what happens in the last months and what you had to bear and everything?
Yes.
It's normal. I mean, who wouldn't?
And of course, now I'm sober. That should help. But I think that we feel emotions a little bit deeper sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, all bipolar 1 are really hypersensitive. We feel things like much more than normal people, like people with a normal brain. It's overwhelming. The most difficult thing is to communicate the things to the people around us, to tell them what we have inside us.
I don't know. I was just talking about this with another person who's bipolar 1, and he said, I am with you. I agree with you. And anytime I'm really happy or, I am upset about something that happened, people always ask me about my medication, and they blame everything on my bipolar and say that's it. Like, everything, the way that you behave and the way that you feel things is all about being bipolar. And I think that's kind of unfair.
Yeah, it is. It's like stamps we put on ourselves, and we can remove it. People see it at first because we have that diagnosis, but we are more than that. But we are human. I mean, we have, and we all have our burdens. So if us bipolar can't like speak out about our burdens to other people, everybody, and sometimes when we go through like dark things, we should be able to speak about it without people panicking, you know?
Yeah, without people panicking. But if they think you could commit suicide, or, you know, I understand that they get very upset, but
us as bipolar one, what would be great for us to hear from those people? I still wonder, you know. I think maybe just having a listening ear. I don't know how if we say that in English, but you know, someone just who listens without judging. Then they just say like, have you called the psychiatrist? Have you been to see a psychologist? I mean, I just need a friend, you know. It's not the same. A psychologist is not a friend, and we don't have the same relation. We need people around us that are that we can trust. But who are not psychologists or psychiatrists, you know. A solid circle of people we can trust, you know.
You know, I just saw two of my friends. You know, you get emotional on planes and in airports. A lot of people do. I started crying on the plane on the way back because I just wanted to stay because I felt better mentally around them.
It's really hard to to feel good where we are, to when we have things in our head, like it's like a loop, and it never ends. I feel like I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now. Sometimes, you know, you see the light, and then it's always hard to stay consistent and to
and you have a day when you think none of this matters. You
doesn't
know,
make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Exactly.
It's hard to be normal. I think we are creative beings, and we need to express ourselves in many ways. I think that's why sometimes we tend to think that it doesn't make any sense. Philosophical, but maybe it's linked to the beauty of life, you know. Sometimes we really like that things at work, there's no beauty. It's neutral everywhere, you know. And I think it must be something to be improved in the work area, at least for people like us. Some people are not like. I think in France it's not the same for mental illness. I mean, you know, when you say you have a mental illness, some people are really distant. They think we are too weak, you know, mentally, and too weak to handle things.
People think it's a weakness, and I think other things in life, you know, something doesn't go well, whatever. If you're following a manic episode and a crisis and being hospitalized, you're not weak. And I don't know, what is your experience? Like for me, having a severe episode, and then psychosis, and just being in the hospital is terrible. Do you have a hard time recovering? How long does it take you to recover?
During my first episodes in 2016, I was at the hospital all summer during during the summer, and then I was in a depressive state during around 6 months. I mean, I was at my parents' house at the moment, and all I was doing was I woke up, took my breakfast, and then I came back to my bed because I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was the only thing I could do. So yeah, I don't have any. I mean, I don't remember anything from this period because I didn't do anything. I was in my bed. So
you about sobriety, being sober.
Sobriety, yeah.
Yes. And how long have you been sober?
It's weird because there's a sober culture in English countries, in America, in England, and in France, sober culture doesn't exist at all.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Yeah, everywhere. I mean, it's really in our culture to drink wine, and I come from a place where there are vineyards everywhere.
I'm sober now, and I know some, I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I know things about wines. And so unlike, for example, England, you don't have people that are like vomiting on the street because they're so drunk.
Yeah.
I wonder if down the road I could get to the point where I can just enjoy a really good glass of champagne. Right now I'm kind of scared.
It's hard because you have to, I mean, I work on integrity, how you choose this, you choose to do this. So when you're around people, it has to be okay. You have decided to stop alcohol, and if I drink, it will be to celebrate something. I mean, I had my father's birthday in April. I had a glass of champagne. Obviously, we need to have fun sometimes. It doesn't have to be everything like that, and it's impossible. I admit that I drink like sometimes one glass and then I stop. It's hard when you're around people and they are all drinking. Obviously, it's hard.
Very hard.
But at these moments, I don't drink at all. Yesterday, I just celebrated 6 months without alcohol.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. And I mean, and it became normal for me because I realized that it's in our culture and it's everywhere. It's not that fun.
It's not that fun.
It can be fun sometimes, but I mean, you wake up, you're in a. I mean, it's all,
you waste time feeling bad, and also it's not good for your body long term. The big thing for me is it's a depressant. So if I'm feeling bad and I'm feeling depressive and so I want to drink, I'm making everything worse. And it doesn't make sense. But people do that. They want to escape, so they drink, but that makes it worse. And what I've noticed is you feel in control. So there's a happy feeling to not drinking. And on Saturday night, my friend, she doesn't drink much. I went to her house. We both paint. We were painting. Normally I would think I have to be drinking wine when I do this. It's Saturday night. And it was great. I had so much fun. I was drinking sparkling water. And so sometimes it takes a moment to think, I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to have a bottle of wine the whole night. I had a great time. And that's a really nice feeling.
And there's also the thing that we are ketamine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't need. Yes. And I know that's a play on another quote, but I was talking about ketamine therapy, and all of these psychedelics are not good for the bipolar brain, most likely. Lauren said, Holly, we don't need ketamine. We are ketamine.
Because sometimes
that's my favorite.
You get a bit drunk, like without even drinking alcohol, as we are like a bit.
Yes. We're a little. It's not good for our brains. It can make the symptoms worse. That's proven. Yeah, if you drink a lot, it just makes it worse. So, being sober is a great decision.
Every day, I'm just questioning myself about how I'm going to do today, how I'm going to feel, what I'm going to do. It's really hard. It's every day.
I think the most stable I've been was when I was really, really into running, and then it would make me kind of high, and I was outside.
I went to hospital 1 year ago, and I realized that nature and walking was my medication. Really, you have these thoughts like in a loop in your head.
In a loop.
I'm used to stop everything, when I'm in a loop.
Yep.
Sometimes I have a rabbit. I just look at my rabbit doing his stuffs. And,
oh yeah, I've seen your rabbit. So
yeah.
cute. Yeah.
Thank you. You have bipolar 1. I mean, it's really hard to handle the things that happens in your life. I mean, last year I lost my grandmother. It was something really difficult for me to handle.
Yeah.
And that's why I got manic again. And I was denying what was happening. And we need to be careful about things that happen. And fuck it.
While I was trying to recover from the episode and psychosis, I got pregnant, which I don't know what happened. That's another story.
I mean, during these kind of events happening in our life, it's hard.
This is embarrassing. I'll admit this on the podcast. I will admit that I have a document on my computer. Actually, I put it into my notes, so I even have it on my phone, that it lists all the reasons to live. Your Chanel bags. In a bad moment, I actually have looked at it. Yeah. I did that yesterday.
Last time I was thinking about like doing a wall in my bedroom with the name of people I love, just to remember these people.
Yeah.
And because sometimes just remembering people are around for you.
I think we're doing a lot of all the things that are good. And sometimes, like yesterday, I kind of wanted to kill myself. But hey, you know what? After talking to you, I think I'm going to be okay.
I hope so.
I will.
I really hope so.
Thank you. I will. I would love to meet you in France someday.
Yeah, me too. Maybe in Miami as well.
Oh yeah, you should come to Miami. French people love Miami too. There are a lot here.
Okay, I'm coming tomorrow.
You should. Yeah, nonstop flights from CDG. Okay. And thank you again so much. And I love that you're doing things in your life to help other people who struggle with mental health. So
thank you for what you do as well.
Yes,
really.
I'm trying.
And take care.
You too. Bye.
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 Au revoir.
Bye.
Ciao.
I have a little romantic, did I just make that up, story to share from one of my major manic episodes, which have historically happened when I've gone off my meds and denied having bipolar disorder. In fact, I would tell people, yeah, it's such bullshit. It's not, I don't really have it. I mean, I've been diagnosed by 3 doctors. They don't know what they're talking about, without any irony there, and it would lead to a manic episode. So I was about 24, beginning a manic episode, and a friend of mine was visiting New York, and she wanted to set me up with her friend from college. We planned to meet up with him, and when we arrived, he was there with his girlfriend, and she said, "Oh, Holly, I'm sorry. I didn't know he was dating someone. This is awkward." But we all hung out, and when we parted ways, I told her, "Oh, he's going to break up with her for me." And I remember her sort of laughing because I was not known for my confidence or being forthright. I was known for being self-conscious and awkward. I was manic and convinced that he was going to do this. Of course, you think, this is going to lead to an obsessive manic story with delusions and she's going to start stalking him. But in this case, he actually broke up with his girlfriend for me the following week. So imagine being on a manic high and then having that come true. Wow. Talk about ramping up in mania up to the next level. Basically, I was so manic that I guess I was enthralling. I was speaking rapidly. I had rapid speech, but I had a lot of stories to tell. You know, it was gregarious. He loved my stories. He was an intellectual guy, but he was in a goth punk band, which really appealed to me. There was just kind of a hedonistic edge to everything that we did, but he was kind of a quiet guy. He loved my extroverted manic state. He would text me and say, I really want to hear one of your stories. And I would text back immediately, and I wasn't really sleeping. Okay, I'll be right over. And I would run and dash through traffic. I would run across a huge road, McGinnis Boulevard, at night, defying cars and feeling the adrenaline rush of nearly being run over and probably dying. And it was just the greatest rush you can imagine. The adrenaline rush, the risk taking, feeling in love, talk about euphoric. And I would get into his apartment and stand at the foot of his bed, but it felt like a grand stage to me. And I would just come up with a story. I had already accumulated quite a number of good stories. They were all true. And trust me, I have many, many more since then. We started off just exchanging these really long MySpace messages, and we were trying to outwit each other, and just, it was great. I remember having a conversation over MySpace messages about feminism, and I was like, hey, honey, could you help me open the bell jar? And, I just thought of myself at this point in time as the greatest woman any man could date. Like, wow. Everything was going so well. And I remember we were deciding what to do for Halloween, and we went to a couple of huge parties in Brooklyn. So we went as Anton LaVey, who was sort of the, I guess, leader of the Satanic Church. I can't remember. And I went as Jane Mansfield. I mean, back then I had the Satanic Bible in my bookcase, and he was kind of into Satanism, a little tongue in cheek. This whole thing was kind of a live fast, die young relationship. We got to the party. I just went apeshit, feeling like Jane Mansfield herself and just feeling very sexual and like on the prowl. I proceeded to, I guess you could call it extreme flirt with everyone there. They were very receptive to my flirtations. And looking over at him standing against a wall, like distraught and disgusted. He looked like he was nearly in tears. And I was sober. I was just on a manic high. Well, finally I was confronted by someone. Hey, Holly, what are you doing? And I went into a manic fit, sort of a frantic manic bout of anger and frustration. And I was yelling, but we're Satanists. That's what Satanists do. This is what we are. This is Halloween. We're allowed to act in character. Satanists are allowed to act on animal instinct. They have multiple sexual partners. And of course, I ended up terrifying him and everyone else. Happy Halloween. Here is Hollyween with her scary manic performance. I have to throw this in because it's mid-2000s Williamsburg. I was into polyamory before it was cool. That was my mentality on Halloween, evidently. And so everything came crashing down. It followed by one of the lowest depressive phases, one of the lowest lows I have ever known. This is supposed to be a funny story, so I will not elaborate on that. So as is par for the course, following this, he blocked me on MySpace. His friend, my friend, told me that she couldn't be friends with me anymore because I had hurt her old friend so badly, and he's such a nice guy, and so she cut off contact with me. And I guess 4 or 5 years later, I was visiting Brooklyn again. I had moved to Zambia, and side note, that's another manic episode. I ended up, as one does, fleeing the country illegally by train. But I was back from Africa, and I felt the sixth sense. I felt someone staring at me. And I turned around, and about half a block away on the sidewalk, there he was. It is a heavy moment. It's kind of cinematic. We just stood there. Neither one of us said anything. We didn't walk toward each other. I must say, especially for me, reflecting on the depressive phase after that, it was very emotional. And I cried a little bit. So sad. Romantic Brooklyn love story. That was fun. Hope you liked it. Thanks again for listening. I hope some of you learned something from our experiences. I hope this resonated with some of you. My goal is to connect people. It worked with Lauren, who found me on Instagram. I don't know how to market this at all, so please share it and check out my other podcast episodes. That feels like a shameless promotion, but I don't really know what else to do. Thank you. Bye.
And fuck it.